Good evening, everybody. I want to talk to you guys about something that I think is very important to every single activist in this nation, and for that matter, the entire world. And that is the philosophy of nobody talks, everybody walks. Recently, a state-trusted activist, an ally in Southern California, was coerced into a local police station to talk. The cops claimed falsely to have an arrest warrant and convinced the activist to come down to the station or face arrest. If a law enforcement officer ever approaches you and accuses you of a crime and that he does not have evidence of, and he does not have a warrant, the only words you should ever say is, "Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest?" Keep repeating that. Those are the only words you should ever say. Or do one better and just don't say anything. Agents and cops will say anything to terrorize people, and it is completely legal for the authorities to lie to you. This particular activist was targeted due to a recent falling out with other activists. Authorities most likely suspected the activists would give information since they were drifting from the movement due to previous intimidation. The activist should have slammed the door in the cop's face and called an attorney, which is the right thing to do. Among the many mistakes that were made by this activist, the biggest one of all was opening their mouth. If you're an activist like myself and many others, you should know this. When approached by local, state, federal, or any type of law enforcement officer, you do not say a goddamn thing. You keep your mouth shut. You lawyer up. You resist at all costs. If that means imprisonment, then you do imprisonment. But do not cooperate with law enforcement in any federal investigation involving animal rights or animal liberation. In addition to the police visit, former activists in the Southern California area were part of a swoop visited and visits by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, aka assholes. Just this month, agents targeted a former vegan who was dropped out of the movement entirely, hoping to gain information on people still active. We must prepare ourselves for such harassment by agents and cops, or continue to face dire situations that could have been easily prevented. Talking to law enforcement will always hurt you and others. Very true. The feds and the local police are not your friends, no matter how much they assure you that they are trying to help you. No cop, no federal agent has your interest at heart. They are lying bastards. Even when some answers may seem innocent, or you work off the assumption that they have nothing, any information you provide them will incriminate other activists or yourself. In the activist community, we have one simple rule. Nobody talks, everybody walks. And if you're an activist, you need to abide by that fucking rule, please, for the safety of yourselves, others, and fellow activists. Many people often speak freely of this rule, yet when the time comes to walk, they fall flat. It seems they have everything discussed at security culture workshops is forgotten, and a state of panic overrides common sense. Law enforcement will always resort to fear and intimidation, and we must resist such tactics. They will instill paranoia of infiltration, government surveillance, pit activists against each other, and use activist drama as leverage. Although some of their advanced terminology is a reality, interrogation is their primary form of dividing up the movement. Even if you think they know it already, don't be fooled, because they most likely do not. If they had all the information they needed, they would not have been asking you anything. They would have had a warrant. Talking to the feds or local police puts you on defense, and nothing you say will ever help your situation. Okay. Part 2, up top.